Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and this is the brand new Galaxy Fold 3. And one of the first questions I was asked when I brought this home was, will I be switching from my S21 Ultra, which has been my daily driver for the past few months? And the answer is no. In fact, as impressive as the new Fold 3 is, I'm pretty convinced the S21 Ultra, or indeed actually the Flip 3, is a much better option for almost everyone. Let's start with the price, and in the UK this is £1,600 and this is £1,200 for the same spec, and it's actually £50 cheaper than that if you're happy to go with 128 storage. And that doesn't really take into account any discounts or deals that you might get on this because it's about 7 months old now. Okay, so this is a lot more expensive, but then we are getting 2 screens, 5 camera lenses, including this very nifty under-screen camera, and it folds. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of folding action? Whereas this is just another glass rectangle like every other phone on the market. So in terms of having an innovative design, a bigger tablet screen experience, and well, just being able to show off to your mates a little bit, the Fold is definitely the winner. And particularly with the Fold 3's IPX8 water resistance and its more durable screen, I definitely feel more confident actually using this than I did with the previous models. But the thing is, as someone who's bought both the Fold and the S21 Ultra myself, outside of Samsung's review samples, as much as I love how this looks, I feel like it's going to be the same situation as the Fold 2, where after a few weeks, I'll just want to go back to the S21 Ultra. Although I must admit, I do prefer the physical fingerprint reader on the Fold rather than the in-screen one on the S21. Plus, there is something very satisfying about being able to open it up and having that big tablet screen experience, particularly if the app is well optimized for it. I don't think the Fold is a gimmick. I think if you really do want that tablet experience, I think it's a genuinely lovely device, and also if you are a bit of a sort of enthusiast user and you want the extra screen real estate for multitasking, then I think there is definitely an audience for this, and also if you want to just show off a little bit. But in day-to-day life, I do find something like the S21 Ultra a lot more practical. It's more comfortable in my pocket because while it is a little bit shorter, just a tiny bit, it's obviously a lot thinner than the Fold. That's where the Flip 3 I think comes into its own because it is a lot more comfortable. I also don't have to decide between a slightly too small cover screen and a slightly too big tablet screen when I'm on the go. For me at least, it feels like the Fold's missing that kind of Goldilocks screen size somewhere in between. I'm often tapping the wrong letter when I'm using the cover screen, but then it's always a two-handed job when it's opened up in tablet mode. I also have to say, I'm not as impressed by the under-screen camera as I thought I'd be. The compromise is Samsung's had to downgrade that under-screen camera to a pretty average 4 megapixel shooter, which they just recommend using for video calls and using for face unlocking, not as a proper photography camera. It's certainly a step up over a hole punch or a big chunky notch in the corner, but it is still there. It's more camouflaged than hidden, and I think it feels a bit like a first generation tech. The other problem with the design is the aspect ratio, because this tablet is great for most games and websites, but when it comes to posts that use feeds like any social media, you either get chunky letterboxing or it just doesn't fill the whole space. Most content is just better suited to this kind of regular phone shape and size. Okay, what about performance though? Because this has been out for about 6 or 7 months now. Is the Fold 3 faster and technically higher spec? Well, no. There's no Snapdragon 888 Plus. It uses the same chip as the S21 Ultra, same RAM, same storage. There are 2 caveats though, because the Fold tops out with 12 gigs of RAM, whereas this actually can come with up to 16 if you go for the 512 storage option. So bizarrely, even though this is probably more of a multitasking device, you can get more RAM on the S21 Ultra. And secondly, all models of both the Fold and the Flip, regardless of region, use the Snapdragon 888, whereas in the UK and some countries, the S21s still use the Exynos 2100. But as you can see from these results, there's really not much between them now, and actually the Exynos can be faster in some tests, but it's still worth bearing in mind. But whichever phone you use, I would definitely give Surfshark VPN a try. They're very kindly sponsoring today's video, and it's always one of the first apps I download on any new phone or laptop, as it helps keep you safe online. Turn on Clean Web and it'll help prevent tracking, malware and ads. And particularly if you're out and about using public Wi-Fi, you want to browse the web as safely as possible. Plus, you can switch to one of over 3,200 servers in 65 countries, and also just one subscription will cover every gadget and device you and your family use. So click the link in the description below and enter the code TechChap at the checkout to get a whopping 83% off and also 3 months extra for free. Plus there's a money back guarantee if it's not for you, but why not give it a try? Then there's the S Pen, and outside of the Note series and the Galaxy tablets, only the S21 Ultra and the Fold 3 support it. Although this is a slight win for the Fold 3 here, as both the S Pen Fold Edition and the S Pen Pro have the fastest response time on any Galaxy device at 2.8 milliseconds versus about 9 milliseconds or so on the S21 Ultra. So doodling and drawing will be a touch more responsive on the Fold. But still, neither feel as convenient as a proper Galaxy Note where you don't need an awkward carry case sleeve thing for the pen. But I suppose the tablet-sized screen plus that faster response time does make the Fold a better choice if you are a big S Pen user. Okay, lastly, I'll tell you what really does stop me from switching to the Fold, except for the price, and that is the camera, because while these are very good, and we do have 5 lenses, they are not as good as the S21 Ultra, which came out, as I say, about 7 months ago. And side by side, while there aren't a huge amount of differences, particularly in good light, in terms of overall quality and also having a significantly better zoom, I mean up to 30 times on this is actually pretty usable, the S21 Ultra is the clear winner when it comes to the camera, which is a little bit disappointing. Although on the flip side, the Fold 3 has that advantage of being able to use the cover screen as a viewfinder, so you can more easily take selfies with the main higher quality camera and also see yourself when someone's taking a photo. But putting the S21 Ultra to one side just for a moment, the Fold 3 is still a big step up from last year's Fold 2. It's a little bit thinner and lighter, but you can't really tell the difference in your hand, but the extra durability of the screen and with that water resistance, the new chip, the faster 120Hz cover screen, the slightly hidden camera, and of course the S Pen support, all add up to make this feel like a real refinement. I just wish we had a proper step up in the cameras and maybe a more significant price cut like we've seen on the Flip 3, and it is still a bit of a chunky monkey. Now with all that said, I have only had this for about a week or so now, so I will give it some more time. I've switched my SIM to it, so I am properly using this as my everyday phone, but I can tell you already that, as I say, similar to my Fold 2 experience, I already kind of want to just go back to this. It's just a bit more comfortable and practical in everyday life. As much as this is very much a showy off kind of cool piece of tech, when you want your phone, when you're sort of running and gunning or you're late for an Uber and you need to check something or respond to an email very quickly, I kind of just want to go back to my regular phone. That could be muscle memory, that could just be that I'm not really fully taking advantage of the Fold and I'm using it incorrectly. Don't get me wrong, this is still a fantastic device. For some people, this will be the dream phone / tablet thing, but for me, when it comes to like everyday life and practicality and also affordability to some extent, this is the better option. But I do want to hold out for the Flip 3 because I think that's actually a lot more exciting. It's a lot more affordable at about £950, so 400 or so less than the Flip last year. And it's also the closest to just using a regular phone when it's unfolded, plus you have that handy cover screen. But outside of the Flip and the Fold, I think the 2 phones that may convince me to upgrade in the next few months would be either the iPhone 13 Pro Max, whatever that ends up being called, and also the Pixel 6 Pro. I can't wait for that and to see what Google does with that new Tensor Core chip. But what do you think? Regardless of price, let's just say put that to one side, would you want to use this every day as your phone and having it in your pocket? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat. Oh, and don't forget to give Surfshark VPN a try. Use the code TechChat for 83% off and 3 months extra for free. I use it and I really do genuinely recommend it.